Introducing Instagram Teen Accounts, a new way to keep your teen safer as they grow. Like making sure they always have their seatbelt on.
All right, sweetie pie, buckle up. Good job.
Or ring the bell on their bike.
Okay, kid, give it a try. Nice.
Or remember their elbow pads.
Knees too, okay? Yep. There you go.
New Instagram Teen Accounts. Automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.
All right, welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson. Still here with my special guest, Travis Hicks, sports reporter. Now look, man, we discussed the Pistons. We discussed all this other stuff that's happening as we move toward the end of the season. But one of the things we didn't talk about is these end of the season awards. Now, I think it's crucial. We got a lot of talent coming up in these awards. Got Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Most Improved Player of the Year, and then the most of all, MVP. So I'll let you get started with it of who you think should be the MVP. I have a person over here, but I'm definitely not moving sides. I don't think I'll probably ever move sides on who I think my MVP is for this year, maybe next year, maybe the year after that, depending on how this dude keeps playing. But I just want to know, bro, who do you think is the MVP so far?
So you might agree, you might disagree. I know Jokic is having an amazing season. I'm just going to point that out. To get 30, 20, all these games, what Jokic is doing is fantastic. He's having one of the greatest peaks I've ever seen, close to what LeBron did in Miami. So I'm going to point that out and give him his praise. Okay. However, he is not my MVP. I'm going to say that I'm giving it to Shai Gilgeous. I know he's a three-throw merchant, as most people might say, but we also got to give him the love he deserves. What he's doing with this OKC team to get 60-plus wins, to be a 1 seed for the second straight year in the toughest conference, I got to give Shai that praise. To get over 30 every game, his mid-range game is smooth. What he's doing from three, he's getting his guys involved. I get it. They have a young, good team. Sam Presti has done amazing getting that team together. But Shai, in my opinion, deserves it. To have your team the best record in the entire league, going to have home court advantage throughout the playoffs, you deserve it because you're guaranteed 30, on an efficient percentage. Again, I know he flops and does these type of things, but I feel like he deserves it because Shai, last year he had a great season. He didn't get it, but I think this year is Shai's time.
Okay, so all right. First thing I'm going to address the flopping narrative with SGA, and then I'll explain who my MVP is. But a lot of people, they hate SGA because he's doing a flop, and they call him free throw merchant and all of that, which I think he does shoot an excessive amount of free throws, and my mind will not change on that. However, I think he also flops excessively as well sometimes, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he's a great ball player. Dude can handle the rock. He can score it. He's a tough guard. You can argue that he's MVP. I'm not upset about that at all. And then when you look in the past of other guys who won MVP and what they did, that whole flopping era of 2013, 2014, when Bron was a flopping king, you had KD was a flopping queen king, Russell Westbrook, all of them dudes in that era, James Harden, it was excessive. I'm just thankful at this point that it's only SGA that's doing this flopping stuff excessively. And, it is what it is. I'm just glad we're not reverting all the way back to that early 2010s type of era when everybody and their mama was flopping. Now, giving him his respect, SGA is not the MVP. I'm sorry. Oh. No. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not the MVP, bro. I cannot give him the MVP because the only thing he has over Jokic right now is scoring. Jokic is top 5 in rebounds, assists, points. You name it. He's top 5 in every category right now. And then also this dude, Nikola Jokic, is shooting a higher field goal percentage than SGA right now. So I get he's a bucket, but also look at Nikola Jokic. He's averaging 3 less points than SGA, but shooting a higher field goal percentage, has more rebounds, has more assists, and still has his team in a winning position to succeed in the postseason. So because of that, I will never stand on one player averaging more points than somebody else doing a triple-double in a consecutive year and been doing it all year. I can't go away from Nikola Jokic as the MVP.
Manny, you make a lot of great points, but here's where you're wrong. He has his team with 60 plus wins. Now, I get Jokic has better stats, and you can make an argument for Jokic. You know, and if it wasn't for somebody in the media, Kendrick Perkins, Jokic could have 4 straight MVPs potentially. But that's neither here nor there. But Shai, the reason why I got to give it to him, to have your team number one in the West, that has to mean something. The West is so tough. You got the Nuggets, you got the Warriors, you got the Rockets. Obviously, you got Luka going to the Lakers. Still don't understand what Nico Harris was doing. That's neither here nor there. But like the point is, with all these great teams, they have 60 plus wins. Now, I know my only argument right now, it just seems like points and wins, but that has to mean something. And Shai still is getting a lot of buckets and getting his team involved because, in my opinion, well, not in my opinion, this is also a fact, nobody else on his team was an all-star. You know, Chet, these guys are good players. Jalen Williams, these guys are good players. I'm not saying they're bad, and Shai's definitely not playing with trash, but, you know, Jokic does have some help. Russ has played a lot better this season. We've seen Jamal Murray, well, on and off. That's actually not that great of an argument, but I would say I'm still going to go with Shai just because of the wins and, you know, just what he's doing this year, because this is a team that should be in the conference finals. And that's mainly because of Shai. And I will say this team is not a playoff team without Shai. You might not agree with that, but that's my opinion.
Possibly. In a way, see, that is tough. That's a very good point. I'll give you that. In the West, I would see them in a play-in spot, if anything, if you take SGA off that team. But truthfully speaking, I wouldn't have any faith in them. I probably definitely would not watch OKC. I wouldn't dare cut on a game to see what those boys are doing if SGA wasn't there. I'll give them that. I'll give you that. Okay. I'll give you that. But it's just, I struggle because obviously both are great players. And it's two different positions. But part of me really, really, really believes, bro, that people are really hating on Jokic because they don't want him to be considered the best big to ever play the game. And I think at this point, bro, what we've witnessed from Jokic up to this point, bro, he's already going to be in arguments of the best center to ever play the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This man right now in this season, this is the first player in NBA history to ever do this. Top 10 in points per game, top 10 in rebounds per game, assists per game, and steals per game. This is a center.
That's crazy.
Like, this is what blows my mind. And this is not top 10 like, oh, he's at number 8. Oh, he's at number 9. Like, he's at 10. No, he's second in assists per game. He's second in steals per game. He's third in rebounds per game, third in points per game. Like, this is this is the closest thing we're getting to Wilt. I know it's insane take, but Jokic is the closest thing we're getting to Wilt, and people are not respecting it because he doesn't have the athleticism. But if you watch him play from the IQ standpoint, from the way he plays the game, this is the closest thing we're going to see to Wilt Chamberlain in terms of numbers and someone who understands the game. This is the closest we'll see to LeBron. Like, I don't think this is crazy. This is like, I'm not even trying to give a bold take, but I really feel like Jokic is just a hell of a basketball player, and we're taking it for granted. Like, it's wild.
Now, one thing I will give you make a lot of good points. Jokic, what he's doing is historic. I said earlier that this is arguably probably the best peak I've seen in my lifetime outside of Miami LeBron, which was just crazy, in our lifetime. Yeah. But what Jokic is doing, he should get more credit. But the reason why I don't think he's going to win MVP, even though I said Shai's my MVP, we also got to go by this narrative, Manny. Even though this is a very dumb narrative, this is also true. By that, what you just said, Jordan should have about 8 MVPs. LeBron should have about 8 because Bron hasn't won an MVP since 2013. The numbers you brought up, Bron had better stats than James Harden in 2018 and did not win MVP. And LeBron was clearly the best player on the planet. But also what James Harden did that year was something we hadn't seen with all the streaks of 20-plus games with 30-plus points, it was crazy. So Shai, I feel like this is a similar situation from the 2018 MVP. That's why they're going to give it to Shai because the nostalgia thing. They don't want LeBron to keep winning these MVPs. That's why they stopped Jordan those times when Barkley won, Carmelo. Not saying these guys had bad years, but I feel like the NBA is to a point where we can't keep giving the guy the MVP, even though that is stupid. I'll be honest, because if what you just named, all those stats, Jokic should technically get the MVP because the point is to outperform your opponent. And if you have more stats than literally everything, then you should be MVP.
I do agree with you, and I'm going to kind of go off the rails just a little bit, and I'm going to slide just a little bit off topic, but you talk about how they don't want to give the same person the MVP award. I wish they would have applied that same damn logic to Rudy Gobert in the Defensive Player of the Year award. Because what the hell, bro? They was like, I guess nobody else plays defense. Rudy Gobert, here you go again. And I'm like, bro, you got centers, you got power forwards, point guards that's out here literally guarding everybody on the floor. On-ball defense is tremendous and all of that stuff. All right, so here's where we're going to go now. So we got to switch gears just a little bit, and I knew this was going to happen where we would end up going over on one of them, but it's all good. It's all good. We vibing, and, we kicking it. So considering MVP, obviously you got SGA, I got Jokic. I don't think we'll ever come to an agreement on that until it actually happens. But Coach of the Year, who you got for Coach of the Year?
This is one I think we should agree with. To me, this is a no-brainer. This should be a unanimous decision. J.P. Bickerstaff is by far the Coach of the Year. Yep. To have 14 wins last year, to be a laughingstock, and still not even get the number one pick. Man. The Pistons got hold. Like, not even get a number one pick, and to triple your win count, that's something unheard of. And to literally be in the playoffs this year, I'm guaranteeing you right now, Pistons are going to get their first playoff win since 2008. That's the book. We're going to get our first playoff win in 17 years. So JP, what he's done, I think it will be insane if he doesn't win Coach of the Year, and it will be disgusting by the NBA if they don't give it to him. And that will just prove they don't like Detroit, because he is by far the Coach of the Year.
This is facts. I mean, I know other coaches out here doing a great job, but the other guy who's the favorite right now seems to be Kenny Atkinson in Cleveland with the Cavaliers. And he's doing a great job at coaching that Cavs team. But let's be real, bro. The Cavs was already a top 3 seed without him. Bickerstaff came to Detroit and turned a 14-win team into a playoff team, a 5th seed. So it's hard for me not to go with him as Coach of the Year also. So I definitely got to go there with Coach of the Year. And then, all right, so I'm glad we agree on that one for Coach of the Year. So here's a couple other. Now we're going to go Most Improved Player of the Year award. Who you got Most Improved Player of the Year?
So I've been seeing a lot of people say Cade just because of the success of the team, and I think he is playing phenomenal. And this is like a really tough one. This is one guy you might not agree with. He's still a Piston. I'm going to say Malik Beasley. We obviously he's been a good player in the past, but what Malik Beasley has done this year to lead the league in threes when you're in the league still with Steph Curry, the greatest shooter God ever created. Yeah, I got to give it to Malik Beasley because he's been doing. I think he's been doing phenomenal. I don't know if the NBA will actually give it to him, but he's somebody that's been able to step up when Cade has been gone and still hit threes, and that's just crazy to me for him to be a league leader. When we initially signed him, people didn't think he was going to make this big of an impact. Malik Beasley is my most improved.
This is true, and I was surprised about that. I like that actually for Most Improved Player of the Year. I will say though, of course, I got to be a little bit of a smart ass. I'm pretty sure he was a top 3-point shooter last year too, though.
That's true, and he was a really good 3-point shooter. But to me, to see him hit as many threes as he's done this year, he broke the Pistons' all-time 3-point record at All-Star break.
Yeah, which is crazy. Yeah, me saying that also does not, invalidate him being the Most Improved Player of the Year because his impact has been crazy. But also too, that was why I wanted him in Detroit in the first place because I think he came from Milwaukee. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he came from Milwaukee. Was obviously a solid shooter over there and played good, but it was just like, we just needed more shooters, and he was one of the top shooters in the league. So I'm not mad at that though. I actually like that pick for Malik Beasley to go ahead and get the Most Improved. One of the guys that stand out to me and that I think of. So right now. Obviously, we know Cade Cunningham is the favorite. I think, Cade is an easy pick. It's a lazy pick, honestly, for the committee to just choose him. This is a guy who's already averaged 25 and 8 a majority of his career, but just now finally getting wins. So everybody's opening their eyes when in reality, it wasn't much that he really improved on. He's always been solid and he's already been a very talented player. So him getting the Most Improved Player award is just low key kind of a joke. And they need to revamp what the Most Improved Player of the Year award really, really means. So because of that, one of the people that I think should get the award is Dyson Daniels. he's on the chart right now. He's got some odds in his favor, but the favorite is still Cade Cunningham. But I think Daniels is a guy who definitely deserves a lot more credit because he stepped it up this season. We've seen a lot more defensive intensity. And despite the Atlanta Hawks losing, he's still performing extremely well, leading his team in steals. And then I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I need to double check this, but I'm pretty sure he's also leading the Eastern Conference in steals. But this has been a dude, he's been on a tear, and he's not really getting much recognition. And I think if we really go down to what the most improved player of the year award should be, then it would be Dyson Daniels who receives this award and not Cade Cunningham. But I love Cade. I'm a Cade fan, of course. But I don't think he should win the most improved player of the year.
No, definitely agree. I think your point about Dyson Daniels, which he's somebody I think that actually has a bigger chance to win it over Malik Beasley, is true. And it'll be lazy by the committee to give it to Cade because Cade's really having like an MVP season. To me, I would put Cade in the 5 to 7 range if I had to like rank MVP. That's really the race Cade should be in. So I agree.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So defensive player of the year, who you got for defensive player of the year? And I can pull up some more people to give you like all the candidates that, is on the chart right now, whatever that is. But who you think? Who you got?
So this one might surprise you. At first, I was going to say Victor Wembanyama, hoping for a speedy recovery from him. He obviously has a blood clot, so we're hoping, he gets back to fully healthy because he's truly a unicorn. He was going to be my pick originally, but now I got to go with Draymond Green, the Spartan, the Saginaw native.
Okay.
Draymond Green, what he's doing at 35, guarding these guys. The Warriors have turned their season around, mainly due to Jimmy Butler. That trade has really made them a playoff team, and they're getting that identity back. But Draymond's guarding the best guys. I was watching a game that they beat the Bucks without Steph Curry, and he guarded Giannis, and Giannis shot 0 of 7 when guarded by Draymond. For him to guard a prime Giannis build, he's also a guy averaging 30, 12, and 6, by the way. That's crazy. Unsung hero. I think Draymond is somebody that's still an elite defender, and he looks to guard the opposing player's best guy every single night. So at 35, I think Draymond deserves the defensive player of the year.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. I like that Draymond pick. And, this is another award I think needs to be revamped away from what the statistics are, because right now I see a lot of the defensive player of the year awards just being based on who's getting the stats and who has the most rebounds and blocks, when that really doesn't tell the full story. So I definitely like that pick of Draymond, and I was not expecting that. Someone I think, will most likely end up winning it is probably going to be Evan Mobley. I think Evan Mobley is on the team that's winning the most right now in the East. They're number 1 seed. He's playing great. He plays both sides of the ball very well. Obviously plays a lot of defense. But the person I think should be in the running and should receive a lot more credit than what they do is Bam Adebayo. I'll die on this hill of Bam Adebayo winning Defensive Player of the Year because this is a dude who literally guards 1 through 5 with no problem. He can guard your point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, and centers, and actually shut them down. So a guy like Bam Adebayo, he plays big minutes as well with the Miami Heat. He's grabbing boards. He's controlling the offensive end, then going back on the other end and playing defense, guarding the other team's best player. So I don't think he gets enough credit. I would love to see Bam Adebayo in the running for it, but unfortunately it's statistically based. So he's not going to be the guy who gets the votes for Defensive Player of the Year. So with that being said, I think it'll go to Evan Mobley just because the situation is perfect for them. Jaren Jackson is also in the conversation, but his team is not winning enough. And I think Evan Mobley, he's had some great years in the past few years. He's been playing good. Now with Wemby being down, I think they go ahead, give it to him because he got the stats and he got the winning team.
That's interesting. I did not think you were going to – I understand the Evan Mobley pick because he's somebody who could legitimately get it. But I think the Bam Adebayo is interesting because I think Draymond – you might disagree with this. I think does the same thing. I see Draymond guarding point guards, shooting guards, small forwards. And if you remember the year when they won their last championship, he was guarding Jokic. That was an MVP, Jokic. So I think Draymond does similar. He is obviously smaller than Bam, so he can't really, bang like down low like that. But Draymond, I think he's somebody who's never scared of that challenge as well.
No, this is 1,000% true. The sad part about it is neither one of them are going to win because they don't have the statistics to go along with Defensive Player of the Year. But this is so true. I mean, you can everything I said about Bam Adebayo guarding the best player, you can say that about Draymond Green, and you can say that probably about 3 to 4 more guys in the NBA who guard 1 through 5 and actually play lockdown defense. But it's a sad thing because even though these guys are extremely talented in terms of being able to do what they do on a defensive end, the committee is only going to care about the stats. And that's the annoying part about it, because it's like, bro, it's so much more to the defense than just, oh, he's getting more rebounds or he's getting more blocks. It's like, bro, the impact is going to be the most important thing. And guys like Draymond Green, Bam Adebayo, they have the impact on the defensive end.
Oh, yeah, and we can say that kind of for all the awards because you can't really, there's no stat for like determine and will. Like those are real like factors throughout a game. Like the Warriors aren't the same team without Draymond. The Heat aren't the same team without Bam. The same thing with Evan Mobley and the Cavs. So I do agree. I do think they need to like switch up. It's more than just stats. It's also about how big of an impact you leave. Yeah,
this is so true, bro. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I think we covered pretty much. I think the important ones. I'll leave it at that. If I didn't get your important one, go ahead. Hey, shoot us a call, 219-413-9405. Obviously, we'll play it back. I'll bring Travis back on too, and we'll discuss, whatever one we missed in terms of end of the season awards. I know it's a crazy amount of them. Some of these awards, I didn't even know they was actually awards. Looking at the list, like looking at the odds on FanDuel and stuff like that. But Travis, man, I appreciate you joining. Of course, where can people find you if they want to check out your work, want to just keep up with whatever you got going on?
Yes, you can follow me on Twitter at Travis_Reporter, Instagram Travis Hicks_Reporter, and LinkedIn just Travis Hicks, and Facebook is Travis Hicks, and also on YouTube posting daily content of Travis Hicks_Reporter. So please follow me. And Manny, as usual, you're doing amazing, man. It's always a fun time being on here. It's just organic, real takes. So can't ask for nothing better than that.
Well, man, I appreciate that first, and man, no, it's truly a pleasure having you on, man, and it's great having you on, bro. I enjoy every show that we bring you on, and I feel like we also go over time every time I bring you on, which is not a bad thing, but I always be like, all right, bro, I only need you for 20 minutes, need you for 25. And then I'm like, damn, I done kept this man for like however long. I don't know how long, but we talked when it wasn't recorded also. So
True.
It was, but anyway, I'm going to leave everybody on a positive note, man. A positive note is just going to be, do things that's uncomfortable. Sometimes you got to do things that's slightly uncomfortable. And I only bring that up because the way I actually met Travis was in a way where I was like kind of getting out of my comfort zone. Going to NABJ, that was not my comfort zone. And shit, it sounds funny enough, but we met on a bus.
You did. We literally met on a bus going to the Birmingham Barons Field.
Yeah.
So much history and nostalgia there. And we've been brothers like since, bro. You've been like one of my closest friends, and just like it's amazing to see how you've grown. And really all it takes is a conversation. And shout out Rob Parker, who's a mentor to so many of us.
Legend.
And it's crazy, all the mentees, we actually all talk. Not the every so often, every few months,
no,
but
we
talk regularly.
Yeah, we kick it. Like next or maybe later in the week too. I'm gonna try and get Eric on here too. And so no, we all kick it, man. So yeah, that's the positive note there. Great things can come from getting out of your comfort zone. I'm gonna just leave it at that. And but all right, Travis, I ain't gonna keep you up too much longer, man. I'm done taking up all your time. But all right, look, so we'll be back later on this week, actually. We'll be back later on this week because today's only Monday. All right, we'll be back later on this week, and so on and so on and so on.